CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
Tonight on CTV News, teachers rally as the province rolls out a plan to legislate and end the strike. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Premier Danielle Smith says a bill to force Alberta teachers back to work will be introduced on Monday. This comes as thousands of teachers rallied outside the legislature earlier today. CTV's Evan Kenny breaks down how the teachers are feeling.
Thousands of teachers, parents, and students gathered around the legislature, asking for a fair deal before they head back to the classroom.
It's really hard on us, and it's really hard on our students.
We're just a bunch of teachers, and we want our kids to be supported in the schools, and we want the government to listen to what we're saying.
But the province has different plans.
They were serious about getting the kids back in class.
The UCP government is introducing back-to-work legislation Monday. It also plans to pass legislation to fast-track this process.
We know that this strike is causing harm to kids. We know it's causing harm to teachers since there isn't a strike fund, and we want to be able to end it for the sake of both frontline teachers as well as students.
Teachers tell us they want to be back in the classroom, but not like this.
For me, it just shows that they're not willing to listen to us and listen to the public and really understand what is going on in the schools.
Parents we spoke to feel the same.
I think it's good if they go back to school, but not without an actual deal. If they're forced to go back, it's just going to lead back to another strike, is my opinion.
Alberta's NDP says this doesn't solve the problem.
They are going to ram through their back-to-work legislation in one single day. They're going to prevent elected representatives from talking about it. This is blatantly undemocratic.
As for when kids could be back in class,
Premier, when are schools going to open? Parents all want to know that.
That is still up in the air. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta's chief electoral officer has approved a petition to recall Alberta's education minister. Demetrios Nicolaides is the MLA for Calgary-Bow. The applicant now has until January 21st to collect just over 16,000 signatures from the people in the riding. This is the first recall petition that's been approved under the Recall Act. The government also laid out its priorities for the fall session in a speech from the throne. It touched on many different topics, but Alberta's energy sector and sovereignty got the most mentions. As CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, the first piece of legislation also addresses Alberta's autonomy.
A warm welcome for Naheed Nenshi in the legislature to start the fall session. It's been 16 months since he took over as leader for the New Democrats.
And now is here to claim the right to take his seat.
Congratulations, Honourable Member.
Lieutenant Governor Salma Lakhani's throne speech on behalf of the UCP government touched on building roads and schools, progressing a passenger rail plan, and spending more on police. Alberta's autonomy and energy sector took center stage.
Alberta's energy resources are a national treasure that can and must be developed aggressively. Alberta is winning and will continue to win this battle for our freedom and provincial rights.
Provincial authority is also the focus of the government's first bill of the session.
And that authority cannot be signed away by Ottawa. That's why we are taking the next step to defend Alberta's constitutional rights through Bill 1.
The International Agreements Act shelters Alberta from deals the federal government signs with other countries or international bodies if they impact areas of provincial jurisdiction.
If I may, what in the ever-loving conspiracy theory, blatantly unconstitutional and illegal bullcrap is this?
Nenshi says the bill doesn't address the major issues facing Albertans.
This doesn't decrease the price of eggs, Premier. This doesn't make the cost of living any better. This doesn't fix public education, and this doesn't fix health care, and it isn't worth the paper it's printed on.
Premier Smith defended her decision to prioritize provincial rights while a teacher strike nears the end of its third week.
Well, we have a legislative agenda that wasn't foreseeing that we would be in the middle of a teacher strike. So Bill 2 is the Back to School Act, which will address that.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police have arrested an Alberta teen on terrorism and child pornography offenses. RCMP say the 15-year-old was already in custody at the Edmonton Youth Offender Centre at the time of the arrest. The youth faces several charges, including participating in terrorist activity, violating a terrorism peace bond, and possession of child pornography. RCMP confirmed that this is the same Edmonton area teen that was arrested in May on a terrorism-related offense. The youth is scheduled to appear in Edmonton court on October 24th. 5 missed ballot boxes in 3 wards, then a 600-vote swing after a recount in another has prompted a mayoral candidate to call for a third-party audit of Edmonton's election results. Despite the issues, Edmonton Elections says the process was verified and sound. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
But I think there's a bit of a trust issue now, right?
Tim Cartmel isn't disputing his loss to Mayor-elect Andrew Knack, but says voter confidence in the integrity of Edmonton's election is waning. That's why he's calling for a third-party audit.
I'm not suggesting that that any of the results are really going to change. But when you get only 30% turnout, that speaks to, a cynicism amongst the electorate about, whether it's worth voting, whether a vote really changes things.
A recount was ordered in Ward Sipawinawak. Candidate Daryl Friesen says he was told by the returning officer there was a problem with the initial count.
She came and she said a mistake has been made. These have not been counted, and they need to be counted. And that's what changed it.
Before the recount, Friesen was ahead by just 6 votes, a lead he lost by about 600 votes to Thu Parmar when the recount was finished.
I really congratulate her. She's going to be an excellent counselor.
Edmonton Elections says a candidate's name had to be added to a tally sheet manually. The order of names was different on the next sheet and meant some results were attributed to the wrong candidate. Drew Westwater, who worked for Alberta Elections for 2 decades, says the province shouldn't have done away with vote tabulators.
They fixed a problem that didn't exist.
He says manual counts open the door for errors.
They've been registering electors, filling out paperwork, dealing with the public, handing out ballots. It's now 8 o'clock, 10 hours later, and they're tired. And with a machine, you push a button and you go home. When a vote tabulator, your work's just begun.
And we're going to be working with them to make sure they follow every single law. And as far as I'm concerned, it's required they must count every single ballot, no exceptions.
Despite the election issues, Westwater says people should have full confidence in the final numbers.
Those results are brought back to the returning officer, and they and their teams review all those results and totals and confirm that they're accurate and correct and that everything's been done.
Official election results will be released at noon Friday. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The provincial government has settled a lawsuit with a coal company after years of flip-flopping on coal mining policy here in Alberta. Evolve Power will receive $95 million in taxpayer funds. Earlier this year, Atrum Coal settled for $142 million. Both lawsuits follow a decision by the province to revoke coal mining licenses on the eastern slopes of the Rockies. In 2020, the province nixed land protection rules that dated back to 1976, prompting public backlash. The following year, the UCP government reversed its decision, canceling mine leases and declaring an indefinite moratorium on coal exploration. The moratorium was lifted earlier this year. First responders see the unimaginable on a daily basis. In an attempt to deal with the stress, an Alberta firefighter turned to holistic therapies to heal his physical and mental health. And now, he's trying to help others. CTV's Kevin Fleming reports.
He was on an emotional roller coaster and his body hurt constantly for close to 5 years. Chris Canales was struggling with how traumatic stress was affecting him.
I had reached a point in my life that 17 years on the fire department and all of the calls that I had gone on and experienced really started to accumulate and spill over into my family and personal life. There was emotional distance, there was anger, exhaustion, and just a depressive state.
He tried traditional therapies, but it wasn't until he turned to a holistic approach that he started to see a difference.
Trauma-informed yoga, breath work, Reiki, and somatic healing. A combination of these modalities has really allowed me to just tap into each part of my body and be able to understand and recognize what's going on.
Canales found a warrior's peace to share what worked for him with other first responders.
So he really has surrounded himself with other people who have a similar mindset on wellness, in that it needs to be holistic, it needs to integrate different approaches. And when we all work together, it's way more effective than any one modality or approach on its own.
Megan Ovia says the first responders who were in the program are benefiting from it.
We want to create a team and community so that the work that we do isn't just a Band-Aid fix, it's a systemic solution. So the person's nervous system is healed, the trauma can be worked on, and relationships can be improved as well.
Canales says he's in a much better space today, both physically and mentally.
Truly magical and crazy. I didn't think I'd ever feel that way, but it's just been amazing, and I live through it every single day.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, rock fans rejoice, the Foo Fighters are coming to Edmonton next fall. The band will take over the stage at Commonwealth on September 17th. It's part of the Take Cover Tour promoting their new album, which is out today. Queens of the Stone Age are slated to open up. Presale begins next Wednesday, and general tickets go on sale on October 31st. The St. Albert man is just 2 months away from the experience of a lifetime. Kevin Ransom will carry the Olympic torch in Italy. CTV's Merrick Takash has his story.
Preparations for the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy are well underway. In St. Albert, preparations of a different kind have begun.
And right now, I'm trying to get back into shape.
Kevin Ransom has been given a task he can only dream about. He's been selected as a torchbearer for the Olympic torch relay in Italy.
Italy is a beautiful country, great culture, great history. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You can't turn those down.
Ransom is taking his daughters, Callie and Katie, along for the ride. He'll run a section of the torch route in northern Italy sometime in December.
They say like 200 to 300 meters, so it's a relatively short distance carrying the torch, but I don't know if I'm going uphill. I don't know if I'm going downhill. I want to be prepared. I don't want to be out of breath by the end of it.
Ransom has struggled with anxiety and depression since he was young.
I think there's a really sweet metaphor about carrying the torch, carrying the light to start the Olympic Games, and finding the light inside of you and bringing it out, and because it can go dim sometimes.
He wants to use the opportunity to inspire others. Merrick Takash, CTV News, St. Albert.
The University of Alberta hockey teams are temporarily moving to Nisku. The Golden Bears and Pandas hockey squads will play in the Silent Ice Centre next season, while Claire Drake Arena receives a facelift. The U of A says the aging facility needs some updating. That's about 8 to 10 months of work, including fixing sewage and drainage. Students will have access to buses taking fans from campus out to Nisku. In Nova Scotia, 3 pilot whales were rescued after swimming a little too close to shore as they were discovered struggling to get back into deeper water. This video captured the moment on Port Hood Island when bystanders jumped into action and helped the whales back into more comfortable depths. Just ahead, private payback. Some Albertans could see reimbursement for private scans. Plus, a matinee milestone. A local theater celebrates a special anniversary.
A place like this that that sort of has the character of the cinema of years gone by, I think is pretty special.
Good evening, folks. Close to 20 for a daytime high on Friday. One more really warm day, and then a shift in the weather pattern this weekend. Still above average on Saturday, Sunday. Good chance of some showers and a lot cooler. Take a closer look at all that in a couple minutes.
Programming brought to you by Superheroes and Blockbusters with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Welcome back. Edmonton's only operating historic movie theater is celebrating a major milestone soon. The Garneau Theatre turns 85 tomorrow, and the people who work there say it's pretty special that the old theater is still drawing crowds. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
For 8.5 decades, the Garneau Theatre marquee has lit up the top of Walterdale Hill. Today, a special anniversary advertised on the awning.
There's a lot of nostalgia, and there's a lot of memories in this building.
The Garneau has outlasted all of its contemporaries. The Princess Theatre is closed, and the Roxy has been converted into a live venue.
So these are just some historical photos of the Garneau Theatre very shortly after it opened up.
The theatre opened in 1940. It's been operated and maintained by a number of companies over its 85-year history, lasting past the age of the multiplex and into the streaming era.
It's a bit of an anomaly in the movie industry these days to have a large capacity single screen building.
The Metro Cinema organization took over operations of the Garneau Theatre in 2011. They say the key to continually attracting new audiences is by offering an eclectic mix of programming and the kind of communal experience you can't get from sitting on the couch.
People spend a lot of time multitasking. This is a place where you can come and give yourself time to just relax into a movie.
The theater's operators say its 35mm projectors add to that ambiance in an increasingly digital age.
There's something nostalgic about seeing that sort of warm, kind of grainy film look.
The Garneau Theatre will celebrate its 85th anniversary Friday with a 12-hour movie marathon, spanning a gambit of genres and generations and introducing people to something they may never have seen. How does that make you feel?
It's what I live for, honestly.
Many generations of people that have, strong, wonderful memories of coming to this building, and that's a pretty special thing, I think.
The people behind the Garneau say they hope to remain a part of the city for years to come. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province is developing plans to reimburse more people for private medical testing if a serious condition is found. It's part of a proposal to expand diagnostic screening, but critics say it could put more stress on an already burdened system. CTV's Jordan Canigan has more.
It's pitched as a plan to allow Albertans to take proactive care into their own hands.
It is much easier to deal with cancer or a chronic illness if you can find it early through these detective modes that will be available for people to pay for themselves.
And the province is working on a system to allow people to be reimbursed for those private MRIs and CT scans if a serious medical condition is found.
Right now, the doctor's the gatekeeper. The doctor's the one who determines whether or not a test should be performed. We want to move to a model where a patient can go directly and get those tests and then be able to get them reimbursed if there's a problem.
But some worry the changes could mean those same doctors will take on even more of a burden as more public and private results are reviewed by physicians.
So we want to make sure that we're still following guidelines with regards to ensuring that every Albertan who's a candidate for screening has that screening available to them, and they are not delayed because of this new program.
In a statement, Health Canada says Canadians should have equitable access to medically necessary care based on their medical needs, not their ability or willingness to pay. That's why the Government of Canada continues to invest in strengthening our publicly funded healthcare system. There's also a worry it could bump publicly covered patients waiting for scans and add to growing wait lists. Data from the Canadian Institute for Health Information shows wait times for MRIs and CT scans jumped in Alberta in 2024 compared to the prior year.
What we've seen yesterday is the government announcement for more American-style two-tiered healthcare in Alberta.
Jordan Cadigan, CTV News, Calgary.
After the break, let's play ball. A local father and son taking the Blue Jays run to the World Series.
Baseball's kind of always been my life from the start, as long as I can remember.
Friday on Your Morning, how to get your car winter ready. Plus, booksellers are seeing a spike in romance and fantasy novels. We'll preview a local market capitalizing on that trend.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. In the mid to upper teens through this afternoon here in Edmonton, and we'll be in the high teens tomorrow with a shot at hitting 20. I have 18 in the forecast for a daytime high, but there's a chance we get a degree or two warmer than that. We'll see how much sunshine we can get. I think we'll see more sun than cloud in the morning. A little bit of increase in cloud, though, late in the day tomorrow. And you can see early Saturday morning, mainly north and west of the Edmonton area, but there is some uncertainty with where exactly this track is going to be, and it may shift a little further southeast. So I've put a slight chance of some scattered showers into the forecast for early Saturday morning. Most of the rain, though, through the course of the day on Saturday is going to be up in northeastern Alberta, and through the afternoon hours, we'll actually see a little bit of clearing here in the Edmonton area, and temperatures should be around 12 or 13 for a daytime high. Sunday, here's the next system making its way in, and that will at least keep us cloudy. Pretty good chance that we'll see some showers or some periods of steadier rain, and then back off to the west and northwest, we could actually see that rain transition over to a little bit of snow. So we'll have a little more on that, a little clearer picture tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, but as of right now, it looks like there could at least be some mixed precipitation in parts of central and northern Alberta on Sunday. Tomorrow morning around the freezing mark in eastern Alberta. 5 degrees, though, in Edmonton and Red Deer. 4 or 5 as well for morning lows in through the Peace Country. You'll get back to about 11 or 12 degrees with cloudy skies tomorrow. 13 for Fort McMurray. Should be in the mid to high teens for Lloydminster South towards Wainwright Coronation. Close to 20 in Red Deer, and here in Edmonton, close to 20. 5 degrees in the morning. 18 or 19 for a high. We'll call it partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Clearing in the afternoon, but early in the day Saturday, could see a scattered showers. We just showed you most, probably all of that stays west or north of the city, and about 13 for a daytime high. Back to around 9 and mostly cloudy with a good chance of seeing some showers or periods of rain. Highs of 8 for Monday, Tuesday, and then somewhere in the 7 to 11 degree range for the middle to the end of next week. That is your forecast.
The World Series begins tomorrow night in Toronto between the Jays and the visiting LA Dodgers. The Blue Jays run has brought generations of fans together, including an Edmonton father and son duo who got to see the Jays advance in person. For the Jolly family, baseball is more than just a sport.
Baseball's kind of always been my life from the start, as long as I can remember.
It's a love that was passed down by Brad's father, Rob, a Blue Jays season ticket holder for the last 3 decades.
Extremely exciting, extremely rewarding, and really just a heck of a lot of fun. He loves being down here.
Brad wasn't born the last time the Jays made the World Series. In 1993, Joe Carter hit the biggest home run in team history.
Here's the pitch on the way, a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win it!
A bittersweet moment for the elder Jolly, who had tickets to a Game 7 that never was.
Going into the game, I felt like, who do I really want to win here? I could go to Game 7 if the Jays don't win, and that was an unfortunate way to feel.
32 years later, he wasn't missing another shot at seeing the Jays play a Game 7. And was rewarded with one of the most memorable moments in team history.
A swing and a fly ball to left field. Back goes Arozarena. She's gone!
It all came together into this one moment where, him and I are together at Game 7, and we just won it, and we were there live. And, I don't know if we'll ever be able to, replicate that again.
Between work and Brad's playing with the Collegiate Hawks, the Jollies will take in the first games of the World Series at home or at Remax Field's watch party.
A lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. Guys are going crazy, definitely not holding back. We're all here to have a good time.
But if the series goes long...
I've told my wife we're the official good luck charms, obviously, and so we really need to be there for Game 6 or 7.
A World Series return to the Rogers Centre isn't out of the question. The Blue Jays postseason run even has hockey superstars excited.
I never played baseball. I had a great respect, though, for what they do. those pitchers, the way they throw the ball, it's incredible. And trying to square up a round bat on a round ball coming at 100 miles an hour has got to be one of the hardest things in sports.
Connor McDavid says he's fully on board the Blue Jays bandwagon. He says it's fun seeing the country come together to support the only Canadian Major League team. Exciting stuff tomorrow night on deck. That's all from us on this Thursday night. Thanks for wrapping up your day with us here on CTV News. We'll see you back here same time, same place tomorrow night. Until then, take care and goodbye for now.